All right, folks. It is 10 o'clock p.m. European time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know what time it is overall. It is the Midnight Run UK. And once again, it's it's that VINCE. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm in a pretty foul mood, that's for sure. I don't look so home. It's probably because it's a brown shirt. But this is actually a Nordstrom shirt, to be honest with you. Or actually, no, this is a Saks Fifth Avenue sweater. I need to go purchase something else on there because I get a $50 credit on Saks with my Amex Platinum. I tell you what, folks, I'm in a foul mood today. You want to know why? Once again, Google wants me to build a service ramp to a fucking doghouse. I kid you not. They want me to build a ramp to a freaking doghouse with things. And it's just kind of annoying at this point in time. Especially when I'm spending, tens of thousands of dollars. And I have to go and put up with this type of stuff, I got no time for that, Period. Do not have time for that whatsoever. But, honestly, it's just one of those things I'm just going to have to deal with, But it's just amazing how many rules and regulations that are out there. I mean, this is a pure example of just serious liberalism. I mean, it is what it is. You see, all of my other websites have been grandfathered in, so I don't have to worry about those, at least for now. But the idea of just the examples I want to give you is they want me to set up a legal policy, a dispute resolution policy. And those things are legal documents, and they take time for me to fill out, Most people, and folks, a lot of y'all ask me, people think that it's easy to get into the e-commerce business. All you got to do is go on that Shopify, set yourself up a store, and you're making all this money. Truth of the matter is nobody makes money on those. You either lose money, or when you're making money like I am, you don't get millions. You get enough to pay your bills and stuff like that, and be able to afford a nice single wide mobile home and 2 old cars and stuff. But the businesses that are successful, it's a grind, it really is. Let's see here. So what I'm doing right now, I am actually taking care of a very annoying issue that I've had for the past month, actually. So tell me, Aves, what does a gay FBI agent supposed to look like? I've never heard that before. That's very interesting. But it's just liberalism there, is what it is. It's just all liberalism. And it just seems to be getting worse and worse. Oh, forgot to do this. Convert the file over to... Oh, absolutely. By the way, folks, this is the Q&A of the channel, so feel free to ask me any questions. No cigar because, the game is coming on at 8 o'clock. So we're not going to be doing any smoke. I had a little itty bitty teeny one, but I do got Earl Grey. And that's why I changed my show for Tuesday to coffee. Because usually I drink Earl Grey earlier in the afternoon. Hey, that guy. Uh, I'm good friends with Troy Aves. We wrote I mean, a couple of times we rode on the bus in Vegas together, along with Darum, David Henry, and everything. So, and we've always chatted in the forums. Troy's a good friend. He's a good guy. Well, I'm getting my passport, but I'm going to be headed to Canada first within a couple of months. I drink Boost Mono coffee. It's a good Italian espresso type coffee. And then I have Folgers Black Gold 1850. I love that stuff. I still got that Cracker Barrel coffee. I think I'm gonna throw that out. I just don't like it. Either that, or I'm just gonna put it away for when I don't have any coffee. I like my coffee super strong, and part of the reason why I use an espresso coffee is because I use a mocha pot. And when you use a mocha pot, you have to have your grinds. You have to have your grounds very, very fine in order for it to properly work. Yeah, I know. I remember that. Those are actually, both Durham and Troy. I mean, they're very humble guys. They're not trying to be superstars or anything like that. They're what I call blue collar IFBB pros. They don't show off the fancy life or anything like that. And they're doing quite well. I hate it when bodybuilders actually show off. Well, the key to making a very strong coffee is using an espresso coffee ground. Like you can use the one I use. You can also use something like Sumatra coffee. What is that doing? I don't know what that's doing. There we go. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Well, let me ask you a question. What do you brew it in? Because that's going to make all the difference as far as to how well your coffee tastes. And I make coffee a bunch. No, you don't need to get whole bean. You can get pre-ground. You just got to get the right brand and you have to brew it right. Make sure you're using filtered water too. Uh I was always a Scorpion person, ZX. I never liked those two. I mean, I don't like playing women on video games. But I guess Katana because she had the cool katanas. Yeah, Sean Ray was a show off. I mean, if you looked at his old videotapes, Lifestyle of the Fit and Famous, he's riding around in that white Corvette with a cell phone in it. But I mean, Arnold did the same thing, you know. It's all about marketing. Hey, Lamar, what's up, man? I don't like Starbucks simply because it's just too expensive. I don't want to pay $5 for they charge $5 for coffee, and they got the nerve to actually have a tip cup. I mean literally a tip cup for a $5 cup of coffee. And you know why Starbucks makes so much money? Because it only costs maybe 7 cents in order to brew the cup of coffee. I kid you not. Well, I finally fixed that. Thank goodness. Now I have descriptions in my website. No, there's no such thing as a stupid question. At least in my opinion. I mean, there's a such thing as a troll question, and stuff, but, whatever. Speaking of trolls, did y'all hear about Hunter Biden getting indicted on those gun charges today? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I can actually, I don't play the bass guitar. I actually can play the trumpet though. It's been years since I played the trumpet, so I would need some practice. Sorry to hear, Morpheus. Yeah, sometimes those things are not preventable. Even if you take vitamins and supplements, it's like I've always said, when it's your time, it's your time, you know? I mean, you're not going to deal with no final destination stuff, but, you know, that's why it's important to live the best life you possibly can. No, you're using drip coffee. Don't do that. Get a mocha pot. Mocha pot. If you get a mocha pot for your stovetop, you brew the coffee, you're going to get the best coffee ever. If you're going to use drip coffee, then you can't use fine grounds. You got to actually grind it up. So that's when you would get the whole bean. But even with drip coffee, depending on the coffee maker yourself, you may still get some rank and stank coffee, you know. Just depends on the brand. I wonder how Lenny's shins are actually doing. Hopefully they're not as bad as they were before. Oh, you going to ATL? Okay. I gotta go visit a friend out there sometime pretty soon. Why does everyone demand and promote open talk about gay stuff, but I'm not allowed to talk about Neil Curry taking some? Well, it's because he's passed away. Now, Showcase, if he was still alive, I wouldn't care. In fact, I would actually talk about that, you know, literally. But he just passed away, so you gotta let the bullshit die down first before you. I mean, we already know the stuff is out there, folks. But let's give the family time to pack up his things, to bury the guy and stuff. Give him some time to mourn, okay? Is that too much to ask? I mean, you know. Well, I think they were ducks actually. They weren't. I know people posted that there were geese. There were geese in that pool, but those were actually ducks. But there was a mixture of both geese and ducks in that. They always come through that waterfall, and they even stick around sometimes in the winter. You spent 3 grand on dinner? I've never done that before. That's way too much. Way too much. I mean, I went to Hal's Chop House, and if I can get a Japanese A5 Wagyu steak, you know, I can get a fine bottle of wine, get a nice tater, some crisp and stuff like that. It wouldn't even run me $200, and we're talking about Japanese A5 Wagyu steak. So, what did you spend that? How did you spend that money, Lamar? That's a lot, you know, for 4 people. I don't watch James Hoffman's videos. I've seen one of his videos, but not all of them. He's not someone I'm subscribed to. But I always pop in and check out tips and stuff. I've not popped into his in maybe a year or two. I may do it one day, but if I'm gonna play the trumpet, then I'm gonna at least take about a month or so to get my jazz back. I have met Dexter Jackson so many times. It's outrageous. I've met the little middleweight Dexter Jackson to the big Dexter Jackson. Yeah. He was easier to meet back in the late 90s, but by the time he started getting big, you know, he had lines wrapped around the place, you know, just like most other Mr. Olympias. Oh, screw Gordon Ramsay. A lot of his gastropubs, Morpheus, they actually bring in food from the main restaurant, you know. Recently, Gordon Ramsay came out with, and here's the thing about Gordon Ramsay. He's such a big hypocrite. He's always blasted frozen foods and stuff like that. Guess what's in Walmart, folks? Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips. And if you go on to the Wolf Pit channel, that's one of the channels I watched, the Wolf Pit. He did a review on it, and he said it tasted like dog shit, literally. He said it tasted like ass. It was too dry. So Gordon Ramsay's a big hypocrite. He goes and blasts people for frozen foods. Here he comes out with his own frozen food line. And obviously it's going to be fish and chips because he's British. I mean, come on. That's like me coming out with fried chicken and watermelon frozen meals. I mean, he's playing on a stereotype. Gordon Ramsay's British, so I'm going to serve some freaking fish and chips, you know? It's ridiculous. I wouldn't. Oh, screw those Michelin stars. That's. Psst, screw that place. Michelin stars don't mean anything, you know? I can get a better. I've been to a Michelin star restaurant, you know, and I've been to Hal's Chop House and and the Swordfish Club. Swordfish Club blows away a number of Michelin starred restaurants. I think the Michelin stars are overrated. Mine was a 1 star, by the way, Lamar, that I went to. I wasn't impressed. The great one was not impressed with the meal whatsoever. Escargot, you ate snails? Hmm. I mean, I took 2 years of French in high school, but I've never gotten down with snails. Well, you can't post links unless you make a donation, but you can post it in the community chat, you know, and I'll go and check it out. This is mainly the Q&A, Lamar, that I do. Because I really don't have much of it there on my React live streams. What's my favorite dish at the Swordfish? It's going to be the bread or the ice cream. The ice cream is awesome. They make it fresh, different flavors like every week or so forth. And they use fruit and seasons. But the Swordfish, they serve mostly food that accompanies drinks. Their specialty is it's a cocktail club, so their specialty is making drinks. And no one makes a better martini than the Swordfish Club. Even I can't make a martini as good as they can. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you can also, if you didn't want to put a donation in, you could post it, right in the community comments as well on my channel. I mean, I've had an okay day in sales at the very least, so. But a 5-course meal, I guess I could see where that would be about $1,000, But I hope you definitely, it's really all about the experience. No, they don't have burgers at the Swordfish. If I'm all about eating and having moderately good drink, if all I want to do, that guy, is just drink and focus mostly on my drinks, I'm gonna go to the Swordfish. If I want to have a great meal or so forth, I'm gonna go to Hal's Chop House or I'm gonna go to Roof Chris. Those are really the only 2 restaurants I go to, folks. I don't go to McDonald's. I don't go to Hardee's. I used to go to Hardee's infrequently, but they got rid of their $6 burgers, I don't eat. That's why I tell you guys I don't eat fast food because it's just garbage. If I go out, I want to eat a nice meal, folks. I really do. All right, let's take a look and see what we got here. Hold on. Why is that doing that? That is supposed to be uploading. Oh, you would like the Swordfish. It's an awesome spot. Hang tight for a minute. Something's doing something. Some reason or another, the link is taking some time to show up, but Streamlabs has been doing that crap lately. I don't know why. But I'll get it checked. I'll get the menu checked out. We need you to make a viral internet sensation for absolutely no reason at all. I mean, some of my videos have gone viral, like the Cedric McMillan video and stuff. The Collie Muscle video has went viral. But I mean, it depends on what the public wants. What the public wants is what they want. Oh yeah, Swordfish is the most chillest place out there. I got my Gurkha Hudson Bays in today. I did an early refill on my cigars, just so I don't have to buy any for the next 2 months or so. Can you wear fishnet pants? No, you can't wear fishnet pants at the Swordfish. Nope, non-negotiable. You can't wear that type of stuff. I mean, do they? I didn't. Do they make fishnet pants? I don't think you can even go out in public with fishnet pants on. I mean, your wee wee would be showing through the nets. In fact, how would you take a piss anyway? Them things that get caught up there, you cut your ding ding on, and stuff. It does. Okay. Yeah, the thing about it is, Lamar, about those Michelin stars, it's nice to eat at a Michelin star. You know the food is going to be good, but a lot of times these places are overrated. Because remember, they're getting their ingredients from the same supplier, which is UNFI. They're using the same type of workers. The workers are no more special, and a lot of them still use the same general ingredients. So, beyond that, uh, it just really depends. But once that, for some reason or other, your link ain't coming through on the Streamlabs dashboard, but I'll get it checked out and see. But I can see that running about $1,000 for a 5-course French meal at a Michelin restaurant. Abe's my whole thing. Here's my whole thing about the YouTube. YouTube doesn't pay anything. I mean, I do this because I enjoy doing it. Doing the live streams and stuff. But I certainly couldn't pay my bills with it. Hold on just a minute, folks. This is Melvin.
Hi, Melvin. I'm calling to touch base with you with regards to your Google Merchant Center account. I understand you're having an issue with it being. To get a report with regards to why your account is suspended. So I'm just following up with you.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to follow up at 10 o'clock a.m. But my offices are closed now. So could you follow up on tomorrow by any chance?
Tomorrow? Yeah, I can schedule an appointment. And I do apologize. Yeah, that form you filled in was it's just our free tool. It's not actually a consultation scheduler. So
I
would
understand.
you like to
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Give me good time for you and your time zone as well. So what's a good time we can meet? I think we could do tomorrow. I have some availability tomorrow. Otherwise, we could do sometime next week. What do you think?
Just give me a call back at the same time I scheduled originally, which is 10 a.m.
Okay. Is that what time is that? Or what time zone does that work?
Uh,
We're all in different time
that's
zones.
Eastern,
10 a.m.
just Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Okay. All right. So 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We'll give you a call back. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. We'll touch base with you then. Okay.
Pleasure speaking with you.
You as well. Take care now. Bye bye.
Oh man, I left my microphone on. Well, that was just a consultation call, folks. So just ignore that. I mean, if you're gonna go anywhere, wear some classy stuff. If you're gonna wear spandex, wear that at a club. Well, actually, that type of stuff went out with the '90s anyway. Well, McCuck, that I don't work anywhere, McCuck. I mean, where is he gonna call to fire me from anyway? I mean, I've not worked at Verizon for over a year. I mean, there's no more American customer service. All other people, if you call Verizon at this point in time for customer service, you're speaking with someone from India. They got rid of all their US based customer service. I don't even have a job to go back to, even if I wanted to. The only thing a friend of mine is looking for something for me in FiOS, but, that's going to be a hit or miss. Yeah, New York City is quite expensive. I mean, you get a hole in a wall apartment for like $3,000 a month. Plus, you have to share a bathroom. That's why I like the South. Low country living, low cost luxury. I tell you what. He's not obsessed with me, just my dingaling. So, it's your birthday? Well, happy birthday. You want to get a wrong? Okay. Wrong! Wrong! There you go. Happy birthday to you. You bees all right. I mean, I'm used to people being obsessed with me. I mean, I really am. Makes no difference. I mean, I can't really. I mean, he just sounds like a. I mean, he sounds like he has a slight lisp, and I can't do a lisp. I'm sorry. You know. So sorry. I can't do a lisp. Cuban said on his live the other day, I messaged him about vegan gains and he was confused. He took. I mean, there's vegan gains, there's vegan teacher, vegan booty, vegan gays. they can get homogenized whenever they start their names with vegan games. If they went to asshole games, butthole booty, uh, clown teach, and yeah, whatever. They should just change their names. Maybe do some better marketing. Lamar with a $1 donation. How do I feel about Ralph Lauren polo? I mean, I've worn Ralph Lauren before. Generally speaking, Lamar, if I wear any type of clothing, I try to get some without any brand name tags on it. I like mine pretty much plain and clean. But Ralph Lauren makes some good stuff. You just have to watch out for their different types. Because Ralph Lauren, like a lot of other mid brands, they have their bargain brand, and then they have their high quality brand. So you just have to be careful which type of shirts. I would stay away from any Ralph Lauren outlets here. But again, thanks for the donation. But yeah, it's easy to mistake these vegan activists, these extremists. I'm not sure what my cousin is. He can be whoever we wishes to be. He can even pee from a tree. I mean, anytime I ask my cousin there, he goes and curses me out there, just like he curses everybody else out. So, I mean, what the hell you want me to do? uh, yep, Vikings and Eagles playing today. Hey, Lamar, who you rooting for? The
Goldrum, 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 Goldrum.
Vince Goldrum with a $500 donation. Yes, we are the Goldrum Group. And we are all homosexuals. At least some people are. Yes. But again, thanks for the donation. You always take good care of me and support this channel. Keep it going there. So, again, thanks for the donation as always. I need to holler at you, by the way, on some other stuff. But you know what I was talking about when I was messaging you. So, I'll need to get up with you later on something. Showcase, that's not gay for pay money. That's mind your own fucking business money. I'm just messing. Oh boy. You going for the Vikings, Dusty? I don't know. I think the Eagles played good last year. So I'm expecting a lot out of them. Vikings do. I mean, they're I think they're going to have a mid-season, Everyone always starts out with a lot of energy, and then you see that energy go down. So, my shirts are from the route. No, Lamar. Don't get that. Don't get the Ralph Lauren from the. Don't you went to an outlet. Don't get it from the outlet there, man. Don't get it from the outlet. You gotta go directly to the website, and because they have different classes of polos and different classes of shirts, Lamar. That's why I said you have to be careful. Because it's all about the type of cotton that's being used, in other words. So all the polos are not the same. So you want to get the number 23s here, as far as the clothing's concerned. Because there is a distinct difference. Your typical Ralph Lauren shirt with the quality on it should start out at around $120, literally speaking. and then move up from there. And that's actually on the low end. If you're getting the $50 shirts, then you're getting their low end brand actually. Now I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, Ralph Lauren has high quality clothing, but the biggest difference is actually the cotton that's being used. So be very careful on that. You can look on the tag on the very back, and it'll always tell you what kind of cotton it is, because it's all dependent upon the type of strands. And I can almost guarantee you have the low end polos. What happens there, Lamar, is it's gonna tear up very quickly. It's gonna fade faster, and it's gonna get frayed more. After finding all that Sean G stuff, I checked out his Instagram. Yeah, Sean G's a weird guy. He needs to get his stuff together. I mean, there's something wrong with him again if he goes and sells a shirt for $200 and he doesn't even wear his own $200 shirts that he sells. Can I roast Ryan Russo again? I don't think I've ever really roasted him. I'm not quite familiar with too much of his content. He's just another one of those one-offers that I've actually watched one time, and that was about it. But folks, any person that y'all tell me about, what I generally do, like Ryan Russo, for example, I go to their actual channel and I actually subscribe so that way I can check it out later. And usually I check it out while I'm working. So anything you guys tell me, I may not know the person, but once I go and start playing their videos, then I can figure out whether they're smart or whether they're a dumbass or something. You never see Vince go. He's in the chat. Well, Lamar, what I was saying was, if you're getting the $50 Ralph Lauren shirts, that's the low end. You gotta go. Ralph Lauren has different tiers of their shirts, so they have the low end and they have the high end. So you want to get the high end because those shirts are going to last longer. Because with each tier, Lamar, Ralph Lauren, and Tommy Hilfiger does the same thing. They use a different type of cotton, So a lot of their lower ends, they look good at first, but once you start washing them and stuff, they get hard. They start fraying and everything like that, and they just go all to hell, basically. So the biggest thing is you need to check the back of those tags to see just exactly what type of cotton, because not all cotton is made equal. Okay, Lamar, are you checking the cotton? Well, it's not just the price. Just check on the website, you can check and see what type of cotton that they're actually using. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to put a link in. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a second.
Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette.
Here you go. This is the Gentleman's Gazette. This is what you want to use. Make sure you get that down and subscribe to their channel. The Gentleman's Gazette, Lamar, has a number of videos on Ralph Lauren clothes, including their purple label, which is where you want to be at, the purple label stuff. So let me check their website as far as the purple label is concerned. Because when you get to the purple, because Lamar, when you get to the purple label brand, that's where you're gonna be really kicking it. So if you want to get check out the purple label brand of Ralph Lauren. You walk around with one of them shirts, they're the ones that's made with the proper cotton. So just check it out, their purple label. That's their high end label there, Lamar. But I sent you that link there. So click on that and also subscribe to the Gentleman's Gazette. That's a good channel if you guys want to know a little bit about style and everything, Just trying to keep you getting some puss in the club there, Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I got you. These are $400 shirts here, so like I said, it's really all about that cotton, Showcase. There's different tiers of cotton, There's different types. Let me see if that link came in. Either that or I'm going to type it in. I'm just going to have to type it in, Lamar. Restaurant Daniel. All right, let's check out the menu here. Yeah, I put the link below, Lamar, so just check out their purple label. Reservations. You said you had the 5-course menu. It says here this must be the tasting menu. 7-course meal, $275. So I'm assuming that you actually. So it must have been the drinks that jacked up the price there, Lamar. What was you drinking? Because it says a 7-course meal is like $275. Yeah, I've already seen those prices, Ryan. I mean, they're ridiculous. Yeah, if you got those, then you straight, Lamar. It's all good if you're in. But you must have got the 4K with the drinks, I mean, the food prices are. I mean, a 7-course meal for $275. That's actually pretty good. Anchovy stuffed baby quid. Garbanzo, beans, black sesame. Kind of a weird combination for a French restaurant. Ooh, red wine braised. Oh, braised duck. Oh, love this stuff. And why in the world would they have a vegetarian tasting menu? Ugh. Oh, well. That's what I was figuring, Lamar. It was the champagne and the mixed drinks and stuff. I gotcha. Oh, boy. Yeah, but despite what most people think, I really don't drink it as much at the Swordfish Club or even at home as people think I do. I didn't drink anything. I mean, I've not drunk any alcohol for ever since Tuesday, and I only had a little sip of that. My whole thing is I don't have to go out and meet with friends or do business meetings anymore, so there's no need for me to drink or anything. They had champagne for. Yeah, there's some pretty expensive bottles. Hopefully, no sulfates in it. Yeah, probably not for $300. What do I think about eating bugs? The only bug that should be allowed to be eaten would probably be mealworms. Mealworms are very clean, and they're already being. I mean, some ice creams that are made, it already has mealworms in it. Corn smut's also good as well. But, when you get to things like maggots, no. I'm fully aware of some of these places wanting some maggot milk. And I think that type of stuff is not only dangerous because there's a number of viruses in it, but also completely unnecessary. That's why I say go with mealworms. Make sure you feed them right because they don't have mealworms are already being used. They're already processed. They're already used in foods already. You can grow just as many mealworms as you can grow with maggots, and it's going to be a lot safer. When you get into things like breeding, and there are even companies that are breeding cockroaches and stuff, it's mainly for animal feed, but even that type of stuff is dangerous because those type of things have they have viruses. Viruses is something you simply can't clean out of an animal so much. What was my heaviest weight? About 290 pounds. This was at the time I was working at Icon. I had gotten really fat actually from eating fast food. And then I got the total gym and that and some adipokinetics. I mean, I lost that weight in no time. Literally speaking. Adipokinetics by Syntrax Innovations. I mean, that stuff was potent. I mean, literally potent. But I wouldn't do it for greenhouse effects. I mean, it would just make meals. There's a number of things you can do with it, protein powder and stuff like that. I mean, it's high. The mealworms are very high protein. I think I've had escargot before, Lamar. I didn't like it. The biggest thing is I didn't like the texture of the escargot. The texture was just was kind of weird. Actually, no, Ryan. At that particular point in time in my life, I was a fat fuck. I'll be honest with you. I was out of shape at that time. All I did was when I traveled around it and fixed people's copiers and other machinery equipment. So traveling around a bunch, I mean, you could only eat out at places, and that was it. So it got pretty bad, but that only lasted for maybe 4 or 5 months until I finally started getting back in the gym. And then, of course, adipokinetics came out from Syntrax. I didn't take that lipokinetics because I didn't want to melt my liver. But the adipokinetics, with that norepinephrine in it, man, that cut that fat like a motherfucker. I went down to like 210 in like 3 or 4 months on that stuff. I kid you not. When I was taking Tren, I was at around 240. Yeah, they've eaten ants in cultures for ages too, so yeah, you can use those, but I'm going to be honest with you, KCB, I'm not too enthusiastic about eating bugs. I mean, I can still afford eating regular meat. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm buying Japanese Wagyu A5 steak. I mean, I got two Wagyu steaks in there, but they're Walmart Wagyu steaks. I mean, I mean, I only spent $15 a steak, you know. So we're not talking about some real fancy stuff or anything like that, you know. Ben, what's mop? Anyway, I don't. I know what worms are, but I don't know what mop is. Well, Ryan, I'm still continuing to lose weight. You know, I mean, yeah, it's been a whole year. I've lost probably about 30 or 40 pounds. I'm just doing it very slowly, because I want to maintain the muscle, and that keeps me from having to take fat burners and stuff like that. You know. Yeah, no bug burger. There's no need for bug burgers. It's better if people focus on lab grown meat than this other bullshit. You know. I mean, the thing about it is that mealworms would be good for, you know, third world countries with people starving and everything like that. Oh, Big Lenny will be fine. He'd be on government housing. Well, Lamar, that's always happens. When you go on vacation, you're gonna eat good and you're gonna drink you gonna gain some weight, you know. The only people that wouldn't gain weight is my friends Brandon and Dawn. I mean, they literally are bodybuilding fanatics, and dieting fanatics. I mean, they literally bring their food and mix their drinks and stuff together. They got a good recipe for espresso protein shots. You know, I mean, Don Allison is awesome. You know, I mean, if you guys want to get some good bodybuilding advice, contact Dawn Allison. She'll get you straight. I mean, when I say they're about it, I mean they're dedicated to the life. On season, off season, nothing but I mean literally nothing but bodybuilding food from them. I mean, it's 365. They get up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. They're prepping their meals at 1 a.m., you know. I mean, you're talking about dedication, and that's what you want from a trainer, someone that's truly dedicated to the lifestyle. I couldn't be like them, you know. But yeah, everyone gains weight on vacation. Would I make a gay? No, I wouldn't make a gay. I wouldn't make any type of gay for pay video. You know, folks, I don't see why these athletes do this type of stupid stuff. You know, I would rather I would rather fling burgers at McDonald's. I'd rather flip tacos at Taco Bell, and I did that for 4 years. You know, this type of money, folks. They made a lot of money, but it's just temporary money. You know, you eventually spend that money, and what are you left with? Embarrassment. And nothing ever disappears from the internet, folks. You guys know that. Nothing ever disappears from the internet. So you're stuck with that type of reputation of doing those movies. That's the same with Tragilli. That's what I tried to explain to my cousin Vegan Gains. That stuff is going to always be out there that someone's already seen your noodle. And they've seen colleague Muscle up there jerk off into a mirror. And they've seen Kai Green have sex with a grapefruit and stuff, you know. The stuff never disappears. And every time you're walking around, you're thinking, did he ever see that? What is he thinking, you know, and stuff. There's no reason to do gay for pay videos unless you're literally starving to death, you know, and stuff. If you were about 10 minutes away from dying, you got no other choice, and they'll give you a scrap of bread if you jerk off. Well, you better start jerking, you know. Other than that, no. Hey, Rick Drosden's a good dude, you know, or was a good dude. And I did see the movie too, so yeah. But you know, he's passed on. You know, Plus, you have to remember KCB. This was back in the 70s, so there wasn't any internet. I mean, eventually it made its way on the internet, but Rick ain't gonna care about that. He's in his 60s and 70s, and stuff. And he has his contemporaries that he hangs out with. KCB, lifelong friends. So if you've had lifelong friends for like 50 years at least, they're still not gonna care about what you did in the 70s. And as far as the kids are concerned, he's not gonna talk to kids. I could barely have a conversation with Rick because he was past my generation and stuff. So it didn't really matter to someone like Rick Drosden, but you take a millennial like Vegan Games, you take a Gen X person like Kali Muscle and stuff like that, you're stuck. You're literally stuck. Botswana, yeah. Well, Ben, they're in a country to where they're limited as far as chicken and beef, and even with it being around, they got to conserve on it. So yes, they are gonna have worms and stuff. That's in a lot of cultures actually. I gained weight by laying on the couch and smoking. Tomo, you better get back in the gym, my friend. You gained this STD, you should have strapped up. No, I don't find Nick Trigili attractive. What I do find him, he's pretty much out of business at this point in time. Ricky Gervais, he's somewhat of a funny guy, but I think he's at a point to where he's more into politics than he is in doing comedy. And that just tends to happen. Because Hollywood is a liberal, is such a liberal base on things, Ryan, they're going to discriminate against any conservative comedian. Richard was talking about his roller skates one time, and he was literally hugging it and stroking it at one point. How do you fuck a roller skate, Ben? How would you do that anyway? I mean, what would you do? Would you stick it in the hole to where you put your feet in or something? How do you do that? Lamar, Sam Sulik has a good work ethic. That's what I'll give him. I do worry that he's getting in way too many carbohydrates and sugar, but I think it's going to affect them down the line in his future bodybuilding career. I think he just needs to get organized, but he has an excellent work ethic. He reminds me of Dallas a lot, so. Well, he has a little money coming in, and he doesn't have to worry about getting big, so he's able to do things better. Well, it's fine to lift every other day, Dusty, but you can't do full body workouts every other day. I mean, you're talking about four. You won't have enough time to recover. You should only do it Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. That should be your rotation. Give yourself 2 days in order to rest from a full body workout. Well, Tomo, that's given with the size. That's what I was meaning by all the carbohydrates and sugar. I mean, I understand that he's cutting, but, eventually he's going to go back to that off-season state. So that he still needs to, when he goes back to that state, he needs to get more organized as far as even his off-season stack. He doesn't want to gain, if he wants to continue to pursue, competing and everything like that, he needs to also manage his off-season weight. He's not going to be Lee Priest to where, he goes and eats a bucket of chicken, gets to 285, and then cuts down to 225 in 6 weeks. I don't think he has those Lee Priest genetics in order to do so. Oh yeah, I hear the same thing that you hear about it. He's definitely a huge Misfit fan. He's way more than 260. I would say he's about 280, almost 300 pounds possibly. Hey Andrew, you're never late. You're always early enough, my friend. Got some Chinese food? Well, all right. Guess someone's gonna be chowing down. I think Fuad will definitely be good for his training. Well, Tomo, there was a different type of drugs back then. You had escaline, plasma expanders and stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff back then was a lot more dangerous. That's why there's a number of pro bodybuilders that was from the 90s that are gone. Mike Matarazzo, Greg Kovitz, Nasser, a lot of those people are dead because some of the stuff back in the 90s, I mean, 90s bodybuilders looked a whole lot better, but there was a lot more dangerous products out there. I mean, they're also the reason why Flex Wheeler's walking around with a peg leg like Captain Hook and stuff like that. I mean, there was a lot of dangerous stuff. And Sean Ray tried to warn Flex about the stuff that he was taking. He even went to the judges. Flex didn't listen, and stuff. Look where he is now. I mean, I like Flex. He consummate person, but he just he just didn't simply take the advice. It's like Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was smoking crack for years. People told her, now Whitney, quit smoking that crack. She literally smoked her kneecaps off and eventually smoked herself to death. We're streaming until 7 o'clock. This is the Q&A, Andrew. So it's a 2-hour show. Well, I mean, you're losing muscle if you're training too much, Dusty. Heavy as I got, and he must be like 5'7" or 5'8". He looks a lot. He looks a lot more heavier. Well, Lamar, the game is the game. He's wanting to compete as a bodybuilder. It's gonna be expected to use juice. He's not gonna be able to compete using Ultra Multi 90s from GNC or anything. So the game is the game. That's why I'm on TRT for the rest of my life. It happens. Hopefully he doesn't get himself killed, but he knows the risk as far as to using those substances. Ben, like I said before, hopefully he gets his diet straight. I wish he hooked up with Dawn and Brandon instead of. But I think Fuad's going to get him under control. But it's just all that sugar and carbohydrates. I'm like, psst. I don't date criminals, Andrew. I don't think. I don't date criminals. I mean, he's out of prison and everything. That's number one. Number two, tattoos. Number three, personality. He would still be arrogant even if he wasn't arrogant. KCB Metzer could get Pat Sajak and Vanna White jacked. Literally. He can get that guy that played Steve Urkel, Jahael White or so forth. He can get him jacked. He could get Justin. He could turn Justin Bieber into Nasser. Metzer was that good. Andreas was a complete idiot. His problem was he never had an off season. I mean, literally, he just went. All of his organs disintegrated. You know, he literally choked on his own blood. You know, what happened is his blood pretty much turned into just thickened up so much that it couldn't flow anymore. It just destroyed all his organs. Once that happens, you know, he stomach fills up with blood and you choke to death. And that's what happened to Andreas. Yeah, I've done that guy. I mean, I wasn't. You know, the thing about it is, I've not seen the video to where he stepped on the scale, so I was just taking a lucky guess, which obviously it's off. You know, he still looks like he weighs 300. So you got to understand, Andrew. Metzer would have been on his ass like white on rice. Well, the video reviews, Dusty, are tomorrow. This is the Q&A live stream. This is the question and answer live stream, Dusty. We don't review videos until tomorrow. Oh, yeah, you betcha I'm watching the game tonight. I think Sean G goes live every night. But the good thing is that tomorrow's the regular midnight run, so we can always review that video tomorrow. No, I don't want to be bothered with him. You can actually, if you have Amazon Prime, Dusty, you can watch it on there. That's the way I watch. That's the way I watch it. Like, I use Amazon Prime to watch Thursday Night Football. Or you can get the NFL Network Premium. I wouldn't try to watch it on Spectrum because they're arguing right now. You know, they really pulled this stuff at a really bad time too, you know. They just waited for that opportunity and just whoosh. Well, KCB, like father, like son, I would expect his son to talk just like him. I mean, that's always expected. He's not only has his genes, but he hangs out with them as well. But like I said, folks, subscribe to the Gentleman's Gazette. Here, in fact, if you guys really want to know how to look snazzy, go to their channel, actually. I've subscribed to that channel for like 6 years at least. Ever since there was only one person, so. Won 200 on blackjack and dipped straight out of there. Well, Ben, then that means you were playing blackjack for the wrong reason. When you play blackjack, you're supposed to enjoy yourself. If you're playing blackjack on money that makes you nervous to spend, then you don't want to be playing that blackjack. When I go and play blackjack, I'll drop $1,000. I make sure that I'm going to be cool playing $1,000. Once I'm done with $1,000, I have a drink or so forth, and I don't miss it. I make sure that I always plan how much money I'm going to spend before I spend it on blackjack, and I don't worry about winning neither. That also gives me, that means I don't have to work. And of course, I always tip the dealer. You tip the person bringing drinks and stuff like that. You got to be cool with them. I'll give him a $20 chip here. Give the dealer maybe a $50 chip or so. You're supposed to enjoy blackjack. You don't worry. The last thing you worry about on blackjack is winning money. You're supposed to have a good time playing it. So just remember, Ben. If you're worried about spending the $200, then you shouldn't have played blackjack. I don't think the Delray Misfits is over for good. I've seen them recover from much worse. Brad's doing his own thing right now. I think he's trying to stay above the mix and everything. Well, do full body workouts every 2 days. Not every 3 days. But 2 days is fine. If you still want to go to the gym every day, then do some cardio. Or play some basketball or some other sport or so forth. That's if you want to go to the gym 6 days a week. I just wouldn't weight train every other day. I would space it out with 2 days. I think I'm done with making channels, Andrew. I have a couple of no-face channels. They do okay, but they bring in even less money than this. So, like I said, YouTube don't pay anything. Let me see how much I got this month so far on this channel. I don't think I've gotten much. Let's take a look at analytics. Revenue. I have made a whopping $31.89. My videos have only made $22.96. My shorts have made $1.01. My live, where people donated through the super chat, has made $7.93. So as I stated before, the channel doesn't bring in much money, and people just have the wrong idea to where you post a video, you're going to be making money. No. I used to make a lot more with YouTube. I used to get like $200 or $300 a month. Those days are long over with. Much like all the PC stuff as well. Part of it is because a lot of people still have those ad blockers. So it's cut down on, people seeing ads. If people don't see the ads, you don't get paid. But no, I don't want to talk about really any further as far as if you guys start a channel, you get monetized and everything like that. Just have that expectation. But good question, though. Lamar, you should work everything. Work every body part, not just focus on one. No, I'm not. As far as profits are concerned, I'm making about $6,000 to $7,000, but that money is coming from my websites. Well, the wealth that I have, Andrew, is because of my businesses. But I'm still a miser, so it really doesn't matter to me. I'm leaving all my money to my nieces and nephews. The only thing I need in life, folks, is a good cigar, good coffee, and good friends. and good drink too. That's all I care about. All that other stuff, people wearing, they got a rapper now that actually has dreadlocks surgically implanted that are 24 karat gold and diamonds. I can't remember the name of the rapper, but I mean, it's just an example of such ridiculousness with money. And nobody does. But Lamar, they're going to lower the standard in which you can get monetized. You can now do it with you only need a minimum of 500 subscribers. Now, there's another way you can do it, Lamar. What you can do is you can purchase a YouTube channel. It would run you about $120. It would have 1,000 subscribers to it, and it would automatically be monetized. You transfer it over to your email address and you're good. No, it's not the same as Wes Watson. You have to understand net worth is one thing, but I collect mine through passive income, because if I go and sell my websites, then I no longer have that source of income. So over a course of time, I'm going to make way more money than just taking an immediate sellout. It's better to have passive income, make money work for you, along with investing. Investing's a good thing. People should invest more. I heard people complaining about jobs paying lower and stuff like that. Are you doing gig jobs? Are you investing? No. That means you're dependent upon your boss in order to make money. Nah, I just wouldn't pay child support. Just messing. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe someone would actually go and do that. Just imagine if he gets robbed. I mean, he'll literally get scalped with his hair being pulled out. I mean, they'd literally scalp him just to get the gold and diamonds. Noble Natty neo-Nazis. Yeah, I've checked out some of Noble Natty stuff. I think it's like, whatever. I just need to play a little bit more of his stuff. I have an honest opinion. Real good to have multiple incomes. I have one source being a sushi chef during the week and part electrician on weekends. Well, you still gotta. That's definitely good, Ben. But you gotta invest. You gotta invest. You see, you're still being dependent upon actual physical work. So let's say you get hurt or injured, then that means your income immediately stops. When you invest, even if you get hurt, your money's still working for you. If you own websites like me, if I'm sick in bed, my websites are still going to be making money. So you need to put yourself in a position, Ben, to be investing as well. Because what you have is work sources of income. The best investment, really, folks, is in your talents. If you enjoy painting, for example, set up a website, sell paintings, because you're going to be content to do that. And then beyond that, when it comes to actual stocks and trades, it depends on what's going up and what's down, and that takes research and having the ability to watch the market. There's never a such thing as a good investment in the market. There's just stocks that go up and stocks that go down. But at the very least, start with trying to be self-employed, Ben, and then from there you want to set up something that you need to set up a way of making money to where if you do get hurt or injured, that money is still coming in. That wouldn't be too bad of an idea, but I wouldn't be an expert at stocks or anything like that. But, I mean, you guys can ask me anything about building a e-commerce store. Matt, Dr. Rackpool quits his YouTube channel every single month. It's just clickbait. That's all it is. You paint women's faces. You know, that's real nasty. You know that? That's real nasty. Well, Tomo, North Korea hates the U.S. So if we're going to go and provide weapons to Ukraine, then obviously North Korea is going to supply weapons to people that don't like the U.S. anyway. So, and you have to remember, North Korea is a very poor country. So, and they have just about as many sanctions as Russia. So, I mean, North Korea selling those weapons is a good influx of money, you know, because these countries are heavily sanctioned, which means they don't, especially now at this day and age, Russia doesn't need the money or anything, because it's a big enough country where they can get by itself.
Hey Vince, congrats on the new job. I thought those types of jobs were only commission based. The fact they're giving a base pay probably speaks on your valuable experience. Once again, congrats.
Maroon Blue with a $10 donation. I'm not sure what you're talking about, actually. I mean, I've not started a job yet. I've put in an application for a couple of jobs, but I've not started any new job yet. But again, thanks for the donation. How do I feel about beef Wellington? I don't like the stuff. I just don't like the crust. If I'm going to eat meat, I don't want bread around it or anything. I mean, I could barely stand meatloaf. But Maroon Blue, again, thanks for the donation. No, Andrew. I have put in some applications for some companies there. The only person I've told about is Pugman and a few other people. But, you know, folks, if I go get a job or so forth, I'll let you guys know. Am I still on Windows 10? I'm on Windows 10 and I also use Linux. And I have Google Chrome on my Chromebook. Plus now I have my phone with a screen which I use Dex with. So I have a bunch of computers. How much do you need to make? I only need to make about maybe like $1,500 a month. I don't need to make much. My favorite fruit is grapefruit. I like that at breakfast, but you got to put a little sugar on it in order to cut the acidity. Because if you eat grapefruit a lot, it'll wear down the enamel on your teeth. How do you invest and start an e-commerce site? Well, the very first thing you need to do is purchase a domain. Then get web hosting. From there, building a website depends. You want to know what type of platform you have, and then build it. Samsung Dext. If you take a Samsung S21 and you take a cord and you plug it into any monitor, this phone goes to computer mode. So basically, Dext is the Samsung system that converts your phone into a computer. Can I write code? I mean, I can write Pascal, but that's ancient code. I've not written code in like 30 years. Or I take that back. I haven't written code in over 20 years. I wrote HTML coding. Again, I would need to have practice in order to do it again. but not much practice. But when it comes to writing code, the code that I wrote is completely useless at this point in time. Nobody writes with Pascal. Nobody. Nobody writes HTML coding anymore, neither. Coding is not hard once you've learned it. Once you've learned coding, it's pretty much similar to putting a jigsaw puzzle together or just painting something. But you have to have the aptitude in order to actually code. Oh, basic is nothing. Yeah, I did basic. Everyone did basic as a kid. But my official language that I was actually taught by a teacher, KCB, was Pascal. I mean, basic, yeah. Basic was on every computer, so yeah. But yeah, I knew basic, but I don't really think much of basic. Basic is easy to grasp, and you have to learn basic in order to run a computer back in the 80s and 90s anyway. So I don't consider that so much of a language because you had to learn it in order to properly run your computer and open up programs and stuff. Oh, that's different. Java. I can't write in JavaScript or PHP, but those are the current languages that you need. Why isn't my last name Burgess like Richard? Because he's a third cousin. Now, on my dad's side, when you go up the chart, it is Burgess. Bitter orange contains high amount of synfedrin and oh yeah, it's good stuff for a pre-workout. But yeah, I can see it being banned. They always ban the good stuff, but it's perfectly legal to use around. You could still easily get it. Well, when it comes to code, Dusty, you want to write what you're going to get paid for. If you get a job and the qualifications are to write C plus programming and JavaScript, then that's where you want to be at. I wouldn't even try to learn Python unless your job requires you to learn it or gives you an incentive to learn it. Because I'll tell you right now, Dusty, these languages always disappear and a new one comes up as time goes by. Thoughts on Blaha? You can't escape the drama, Matt. The lifestyle never ends. So there's no escape. Hey, it me. Come play a game in my condo today. I can finally go. Yeah, I think everybody can. I still need my computer. Not only to do reaction videos, but I feel a lot more comfortable around a computer. I can work better. I mean, I could do my work from a phone actually, but I just like having a screen and everything. Well, Andrew, you know how that's going to probably end. I mean, like I said, every Friday and every Tuesday, it's a 4-hour React video show, so we'll have plenty of time to play that, KCB. Well, Dusty, those are the most popular languages right now. Although C plus programming has been around for decades, so I'm kind of surprised. But eventually, even that'll fade away. But all these programs, I mean, when it comes to Pascal, you're talking about something that's, like half of a century old. It's just not used anymore. Well, yes, C++. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. That's what's been commonly used for a number of years. If I was going to stay into programming language, then C plus would be, or C plus plus. I mean, I don't get too much into minutia details, but it's got the letter C. I said the letter C, so that's good enough for me, I suppose. What is the most funniest sexpose I've ever? What's the funniest sex proposition I've ever had? They usually come from Tinder or so forth. I've had someone come up to me say and just plop their ass in front of me and started rubbing on it. It's like, do you want to tear this ass up, and stuff. I found that quite disgusting. I hardly know any Spanish. The only real language I've ever learned, like I said, I took 2 years of French, but I do need to probably pick up on Spanish. I wouldn't use French anymore, simply just because. But that was the funniest sex proposition I've ever had. Yeah, there's always going to be derivatives of that. Is there anything you haven't done or accomplished in life? There's plenty of stuff I've not accomplished personally and professionally. I mean, there's not enough time on the planet to accomplish everything personally and professionally and athletically. Definitely not athletically anymore. The whole key to it, Chris, is that you do new things. And the biggest thing, Chris, is you know the reason why you can't accomplish everything in life is because it's a changing algorithm. As things come along brand new, for example, eventually in about maybe 20 or 30 years, we're going to have the ability to travel in space. So you may have that thing you want to accomplish as far as being in space. Some people do, like me, for example, 30 years ago, I didn't even think something like YouTube was going to be around. Once YouTube was around and I saw what people were doing, then I decided to start my own YouTube channel. So you have to remember that you can't accomplish everything in life because it's going to always be a changing element. No, Andrew, I've never done a steamer. You cannot bang 5 women at the same time, Darren. Unless you have 5 cocks, I mean, you would. What was the name of that little blue creature? Blue and Friends or something like that. I can no longer dunk a basketball, Chris. I could dunk. I used to be able to dunk one in high school, but I definitely can't dunk it anymore. How much am I benching? The NFL Combine minimum, 225 for reps. Me and Scotty wasn't friends. Scottie Pippen wrote me a bad check. He wrote me a check and then went to the bank to reverse it. And I emailed him like, "Hey Scotty, what the fuck is up with that?" And he went and took care of it, but. I mean, no other NBA basketball player's ever done me like that. Not Horace Grant or anything like that, you know. But you get people like that, and that's why Scottie Pippen has that type of cheap reputation, you know, because he does things like that, you know. Well, JD, if your place stank for a week afterwards, you should have cleaned the sheets, sprayed a little bit of Febreze, and you would have been all right. Uh, McCarthy, like I said, I hope he gets better, but it is what it is, and what it's gonna be, what it's gonna be. Look, after I have any type of coitus, I always change the sheets, and I light some scented candles of sandalwood and myrrh. Myrrh, folks, myrrh. That always gets the stank out. And if all else fails, you crack open a window. Your room should never stink after sex. And in fact, your room shouldn't even stink at all to begin with. If it was ranked, then that girl doesn't wash down there, doesn't douche. I never met Richard in person. His name popped up on Ancestry.com, including his rest of the Burgesses. So he put two and two together. So, yeah. But he's a very distant cousin. So even such, it's good to tease him as being cousins. So, have I ever hit a home run? Yeah. Can I do it now? No. Like I said, whenever you're a kid and you're in high school, you could practically do anything. I could dunk a ball, I can hit a home run, but at this point in time, shoot, I don't even think I could hit a grounder. If you want to go challenge Scotty, that's your business, Because it attracts attention, Andrew. Everybody always wants to challenge people to a cage match because they know they're not going to get into a fight with that person ever. And it makes them look tough. Like I said, folks, it's better to walk away from crazy situations. That's why I live out here in Piedmont, South Carolina, in the peace and quiet. I don't want to live with those freaking urbanites and stuff, I like my quietness. I don't like my neighbors don't bother me. I'm cool with that. Now I know you're trolling, Darren. Cut that out. How do I start learning the code? Well, you can go to any technical college, just take some classes. But just make sure you have the aptitude to stick with it because it's going to be quite difficult to learn. When did I ever dunk a basketball? In high school. I mean, I'm from the projects. I mean, I'm from the ghetto. I mean, I played basketball literally every day for 8 or 9 years. And I mean, when I say every day, I mean literally almost 365 days a year. That's what we did in the hood back in the day. We just played basketball, At this point in time, I've not played basketball in maybe almost 15 years. Now, that's one thing I've never been able to do well, Chris. I can't throw football worth a damn. I was horrible playing, tossing the football as a kid, and I'm a lot worse now. I mean, I could lay out naked in my backyard and nobody would notice, but I'm not going to do that. Besides, there's ants on the ground and stuff like that. I'd get torn up. Yes, when I lived in the city, Andrew, when I lived around those freaking urbanites. They're annoying as hell, Oh, I could jump pretty high back then. I had a good vertical. I have no vertical nowadays. If I try to jump up high enough there, I'll probably end up smashing my kneecaps. Would I do an MMA match with vegan gains? Nope. You want to know why? Because one, that would never happen. Two, I probably couldn't pass any type of medical exam. And number three, it's just a waste of time. Do you believe robots are replacing us? I got bad news for you, Tomo. There's going to be a lot more robots in about 10 or 20 years. But the good thing is that there will no longer be any nursing homes. An elderly person such as myself can simply hire a robot to do all the shit, including in case you're having health issues, they can constantly monitor you and everything. So, people just have to find new jobs, or eventually it could be like the Star Trek age to where people will no longer have to work. Everyone will always be able to get food, water, shelter, and everything. So eventually we'll get, in about maybe 100 or 200 years, we're going to get to the state to where people are no longer going to have a necessity to work or anything, and they'll be free to pursue their own interests. We could check them out tomorrow, Andrew. And I'll show some old pictures. I'm just not in a position to switch screens because I have customer information up here still. So that's the reason. Probably McCuck, because Cuban stays in his car, I'd have to yank him out of the car first. And if he locks his doors, then I'm pretty much out of luck. I always see McCuck walking around, so. But of course, you're probably going to report back to him that I'm talking, saying that I'd beat his ass, which I could. So you can go tell him that, so whatever. At this point in time, I'm way too brittle. I can still whoop a person's ass, but there's a number of things you need to be. But I'm not going to go into any medical stuff. But I'm pretty sure I wouldn't pass any medical exams. We're not headed towards a universal basic income. We're headed towards universal living. What that means is there's no more pursuit of wealth or anything like that. No more. We will no longer have to pay for food, no longer have to pay for shelter or anything. We'll be able to pursue our own personal interests, at least for the majority of people. There still will always be a opportunity in order to better themselves and to have more wealth naturally. But we'll get to that type of state to where people won't starve to death or anything. Machines have already taken over, Dusty. Look around your house. You got phones, you got a computer. TVs are computerized and everything like that. A lot of people have their heads in the phone all day and everything. Computers already control people and people don't know it. I don't know, maybe John Venus, But then again, you're talking about people who I really wouldn't communicate with anyway. John Venus, even though he stopped the vegan stuff there, he's still a vegan. you know. Cricket Wireless, I still have that SIM chip in there, so I've not even used any of the data on it. Vegan Gains loves Gertz and. What time do I usually train? Usually I train after 5 p.m. Now on Saturday and Sunday, Usually I'll do a little cardio on Saturday or so forth on my off training days. But on Saturday and Sunday, I come in usually early in the morning. Either that or after I've had breakfast. And that way I don't have to deal with the crowd. Yeah, I just spit. I mean, I made the sound, but I didn't actually hock a loogie or anything like that. Well, he claims veganism, no veganism. That's what I don't like. I mean, that's why I made that video, straddling the fence and stuff like that, you know. You're either gonna suck it or you're not gonna suck it. You're either gonna take it up the ass, or not take it up the ass. Figure it out. I didn't answer your questions, Andrew. You just don't have anything to answer. I mean, Alabama bedroom bust. How am I supposed to answer that? No, I've not heard anything as of yet as far as to how he passed away. Uh, More than likely, Big Lenny or one of the Misfits will find out first, long before I would. But eventually, it will come out. Boy. Wonder what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. Yeah, I can still palm a basketball. I mean, that's just a matter of grip strength. But I have bad knees at this point in time, so I'm not going to be doing any jumping or anything. Well, Athens, it's not nice to speculate on something like that. That's why people should avoid drugs at Athens, and I'm not talking about Robzilla because, again, we don't know what happened to him. But that's why I've been telling people you got to stay away from this stuff out there because a lot of it's spiked with fentanyl. I mean, that stuff will kill you pretty quickly. But they do it because it's cheap and you get a better high. Frank Zane would have smoked them if you're talking about physique wise. Chris Dickerson would have smoked them. Definitely Sean Ray would have smoked them. And Sean Ray, he was 5'7", 225 and 219. So Sean Ray would have smoked Chris Bumstead. But I could think of those three out loud. Robert Ortiz would have. But that's a different era. He wasn't as cut as he was, but if you place him in the modern era, probably would have smoked him. Now Chris Bumstead is not nothing to sneeze at, but there have been bodybuilders that have been more aesthetic, but the difference is that there was no physique division like it was. It was just open bodybuilding, so they weren't as successful. Well, Athens, I'm well aware of it, but anything could have still happened. I mean, think about Corey Haim. You guys remember him, License to Drive, Lost Boys and stuff. Everyone thought that he died from a drug overdose and stuff like that. And it turned out he had freaking pneumonia. He died from a community acquired infection. So that's what I was meaning, Athens. You never know. You guys know Corey. I mean, it may be past your generation or so forth. But everyone thought he died of a drug overdose. Yeah, the Goonies. No, wait a minute. Was he in the Goonies? But in any event, people thought he died of a drug overdose, and he didn't. Pneumonia. So we'll wait until the information comes out, Athens. That way, because you don't want to. I don't want to be in a position to say, well, this happened, and it turns out to be something different. Unless I'm pretty much sure as far as to what happened based upon what information is reported. There's been no reported information on Rob whatsoever, so I have no clue, you know. Yep, Dexter won the 2008, and people hype on him for only winning one, but guess what? You only need to win one to become a legend. Again, as far as Hunter Biden's concerned, I don't date criminals, and I don't date crack smokers neither, you know. Hunter Biden's a complete screw up, you know. Hey, Lionheart, what's up? We only got 10 minutes left in the show, but fortunately tomorrow's the midnight run anyway. McCuck doesn't even know where I live. Yeah, we can die from practically anything. So that's why I always tell people, you gotta just live, have fun, enjoy time with your friends, your family, you know. It's not gonna always be around. Well, Amy Winehouse, she drunk herself to death. She died of alcoholic poisoning like Janis Joplin and other, you know. But that goes along sometimes with talent. Plus, she took a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs, a lot of, you know. You been in ICU, Lionheart? Hopefully not for something bad for you or anything. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably Corey Feldman. Corey Haim was in the movie that I remember him from is The Lost Boys and License to Drive. License to Drive was an awesome movie. His youngest son? No, he's like 7 foot tall. He's a freaking giraffe, you know. Fucking Big Bird, you know. But I wouldn't date someone that young anyway. I don't date twinks. I want to date someone right around my age, you know. Not a child. Even if I was his age, I mean, he's a giant, you know. Am I going to tune the Sean G? No, I'm going to get back to work, you know. If I want to be done in time for the game. Looking a little zesty. You mean me? Just a general sweater. You used to... Yeah, I know, Athens. How old is he? I still consider him a kid. I've forgotten his name, actually. You mean Baron? I mean, he's still 17 years old. So I definitely wouldn't date him. I mean, that's nasty there. I figured he was pretty young. He ain't 25. But even if I was his age, I mean, he's like 6'8", 6'9", you know. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I mostly date people my age. The youngest I'll probably date someone is maybe 28 or 29, you know. But how tall is Baron anyway? He's freaking 6'7". He's a giraffe. You know, he's a giraffe. Gosh, he's gotten real tall too. He really has. I'm sorry, I can't date someone that's tall. I can date someone that's taller than me, but I mean not someone that's way taller than me. It ain't gonna work, you know. Well, that's good. You're exactly right. They shouldn't have. I mean, they had a lot of bad plays and mess ups, literally. They Dusty. I was so disappointed. They had a lot of bad plays. But since they're back now, maybe they'll get some stuff done. But that was a horrible showing and a bad start to the season. Donald Trump is pretty tall too. I think he's like 6'4". Donald Trump is a tall person too. I mean, truth is, a lot of people in the Trump family is pretty tall. Yeah, he's like 6'3". That's 6'3" is pretty tall. But folks, we got about 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna knock it off with the soap poll. So if you got any last questions before we close it out, just let me know. Let me get a little bit streaming music going.
Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette.
Not that one. I don't know why that played, but oh well. I got to get back to work if I want to get done in time for the game. Yeah, he doesn't look tall on video. But yeah, Trump family is generally tall. Oh, we already played that one. Yeah, that's the downside of, I always want to make sure that I get my UK fans in so they're not staying up so late as if the midnight run. Not only that, they can always check back out the videos and reviews in the morning. But the thing about being early is that, it's still a general work week. And the thing about it is I work on Pacific time. So right now, Pacific time wise, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So usually my help desk is going to be open at least until maybe 9 o'clock or so forth p.m. Eastern Standard Time because of that. So around 7 o'clock, I start getting my Pacific time customers. But that's the thing about running a business. You have to work. That's why I also don't start my help desk up until like 10 or 12 or so forth. Because mainly I work on Pacific time. Yeah, I'm only 5'11". My brother's about the same, is exactly the same height. On the opposite end, my family is average height. I don't really have any tall people in my family. Except my stepdad, but he's like 6'4", He's tall, I'm not, so. have an opinion on that certification, Dusty, because I've been so out of coding for so long. I would ask someone, the best person to ask is someone who programs in A++ or A+ or whatever, you know. I would ask someone that actually codes it. Do I have any adopted family members? Not any that I know, but I don't believe so, actually. All right, folks, it is 7:00 p.m. And that is another episode of the Midnight Run UK. I want to thank Lamar Thompson. I want to thank Vince Goldrum. Vince Goldrum, you always take good care of me. I want to thank Maroon Blue. I want to thank everybody else for joining me. Make sure y'all smash that like button before you go. And remember, when it comes to life, folks, don't make a big deal out of it. Live the best life you possibly can. So once again, the Great One is signing out. And as always, peace and soul.